Hey there, anime lovers. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum, and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today, we're going to be reacting to 4 more anime openings. It's always a fun time when I get to react to these, and it is all thanks to Amy the Loyal, whose generous support made this reaction possible. As always, Amy, I appreciate you. And if any of you are interested in sending me reaction requests yourself, you can do so by clicking the link in the description box down below. Alright, so the first opening we're going to check out is from an anime called Metalist, and Metalist follows the story of Tsukasa, Mikasa Tsukasa, who always dreamed of becoming a competitive solo figure skater, but starting too late in life meant his ambitions never got off the ground. You know, a bit of Sohum lore is that I was also not into figure skating, but I was into ice skating for quite some time. I was never very good at it. My coordination and balances have always been very suspect. I'm rather clumsy, even when it comes to like dancing, where I'm still flat-footed on the floor, fully connected. And then one day I decided, why not hockey? And I quickly realized, why not hockey? Ay, ay, ay. Let's continue. So the story goes, he meets Inori, a shy 5th grader sneaking into the rink to practice. Captivated by figure skating, but held back by her mother's overprotectiveness and her own self-doubt, Inori has never been encouraged to pursue her passion until she encounters Tsukasa. Moved by Inori's determination to change and be reminded of his own struggles, Tsukasa offers to coach and help her chase the dream she has been too afraid to voice. You know, all it takes is one determined, powerful, uplifting voice to bring you out of the depths of discouragement. Love that about this story. So the song is called Bow and Arrow, and it's by Kenshi Yonezu, which is a very familiar name to me. I believe he collaborated with Otto on a track or two. Anyways, let's check this out. That is a very interesting song. I made so many different notes here, just trying to understand why this felt unique to me. And it's hard to describe. I use this term walled off here as if the sound is like traveling through not a narrow corridor. Imagine the possible expanse of a corridor to be at like 0 to 100. We are in that like 30 to 70% range of how wide this corridor is, and within that width, all of the mix is completely filled to the brim. This track is also very heavy in its rhythmic section and percussive elements. It feels very digital and all in the pocket, if that makes sense. It's hard to describe, again, the feeling of this song feeling full, yet stripped down. I guess because every single instrument that you hear is rather clean. There's not much distortion on anything. Like the guitars they're all clean guitars for the most part. Like you have a flute sound, you have these like fluttering digital noises. The vocals are very clear. There's no grit to them in a metal kind of sense, which, the anime title Metalist might have implied. That's just like where my brain goes because I am a metal fan through and through. So all in all, a very, I guess, clean track is the way to put it. Because I notice a lot of anime openings tend to be very chaotic and distorted and grimy and then just kind of drag you through the mud. This felt like we were dancing atop lily pads. So where am I going to rate this guy? I think we're somewhere between an 8.3 to 8.6. One of the reasons I can't rate it as high as like the 9s, for instance, is because I think the melody is not my cup of tea. And when you stack on top of that the lack of heaviness in the guitars and the mix overall, it gets a little bit standard to me. It's easily digestible in a way of like if you were to take creatine powder and it is just purely concentrated creatine, you know what you're going to get. This song feels like once you've listened to it once, you kind of know what you're going to get the next time around. So the dynamics were a little flatter than some of the other anime openings I've heard, but all in all, still very solid. I love the fact that it really remains within that 30 to 70% corridor. So that will be my rating range for now. I guess this would reduce to 8.45 out of 10, which I think is pretty solid. Let's check out this next one here. This is from an anime called Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days is a comedy action show. Taro Sakamoto, a legendary ex-hitman who retires after falling in love and starting a family, but is forced to re-enter his old life when his peaceful existence is threatened by assassins and former rivals. Though he owns a convenience store and has gained a bit of weight, he has not lost any of his skills. It's like the what is that Key and Peele skit? The retired military specialist or something like that, where he's been years out of the game and Decker has to come back and bring him into the mix because there is a new threat that the world is facing. Also reminds me a bit of like every Denzel Washington movie ever. And what's that other actor's name? He was the actor in Crank. What was that guy's name? Crank cast. Jason Statham. Yeah. He's always the old, super talented guy. Let's check this one out. This is a song called Hashire Sakamoto by Vondi. And we've heard Vondi before, an excellent, excellent guitarist. Already grittier. Sakamoto Days. There you have it. Definitely at the beginning I noticed it was just immediately grittier. I guess not by too much, but you can hear the distortion in those guitars more so than in the Metalist track. Again, the song feels very in the pocket, somewhere between that 20 to like 80% corridor range. Maybe you can call it like a frequency range, like between the lows and the mids and the highs. It really builds the anticipation well. All of the sections where you hear the guitar punch in, and then slowly from the distance come the snares that build and ramp and get faster and faster until you get those section transitions. And very interestingly, I wrote this comment here. I immediately thought of Green Day once we entered that verse. It wasn't entirely Green Day. Of course, there's differences in the timbre of this vocalist, as well as just in the pitches that he's choosing to sing here. Green Day tends to be more obviously major and minor rather than strictly major, but then twisting into like some diminished or dissonant pitch and then returning back to the norm. So a bit of Green Day here, not entirely, but I definitely get reminded of it. Also a bit of a Mayday Parade as well. Yeah, very pop rock vibe, and the layering is all very nice with the vocals. I think from top to bottom, the vocals were probably the strongest element of this track. And for that, I like to rank, I think, vocal melody, relatively speaking, highly. I think that is one of my major biases when it comes to doing these ratings. So I think relative to the first range we gave, which was 8.3 to 8.6, I think it is marginally better. I would put it probably as an 8.5 to about an 8.7, 8.6. I feel like this is a bit of a tighter range for me, so I'll go with the 8.6 out of 10 here. So we had an 8.45 out of 10, very particular, I know, sig figs and such, and 8.6 on the second. So the third anime now is Momentarily Lily. In a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by robotic invaders, a girl named Renge Kasumi, with no memories of her past, discovers powers and joins forces with 5 other girls. No memories of her past is crazy. Each with unique abilities to survive and uncover secrets while finding strength in their friendship. I'm always down for friendship style anime where superpowers are at play and you're fighting off evil robots. Kind of reminds me of that OG Will Smith movie iRobot, though the humans didn't really have superpowers, they just had Will Smith, which at this point, he's not like a superpower kind of guy, but he's been in so many hero-esque movies like Hancock. I even would consider I Am Legend to be a bit of a superhero movie in a weird kind of sense. So I guess it's apropos. All right, let's check this one out. Oshi Survivor by Hanabi, which I've done a reaction to Hanabi on this channel most recently. Oh god, this is about to be heavy, isn't it?
This is the story of brave girls. No matter what the odds, they must fight the truth. Join hands with your friends to go and find eternity.
I told you. my god. Dude, Hanabi, I definitely would like to do more reactions to this on the channel, so if anybody has any Hanabi requests, send them my way for sure. Because again, when I first listened to them, they immediately struck me as the heaviest J-metal group that I had heard. And I've been listening to a lot of different Japanese artists on the channel, from Ado to Yorushika to Bandmade to, I don't think we've made it to Love Bites yet. There's a handful of others as well that you can search through my uploads. And Hanabi by far was the heaviest, which is saying something because I listen to a lot of heavy music just in my own personal life, and on the channel we do make our rounds. I'm a big fan of the heaviness. Again, it is a bias of my own. I'm a sucker for heavy. It just works. And when you have these very heavy vocals, drums, guitars, and then it's immediately juxtaposed with these childlike vocals, it shouldn't work, yet it does. Almost reminds me a bit of baby metal as well, which I haven't done many reactions to baby metal, but I do know what they're about. I've said this in a past anime opening reaction, but I'm not the biggest fan of childlike vocals by themselves. Usually they have to be paired with something that gives it context. Otherwise, it feels a little bit weird to me to be listening to voices that feel that youthful. There's no problem with it, it's just not a preference of mine. But with Hanabi, it is like a unique blend of both extremes, of so heavy that it's like hilarious, and so childlike that it is also hilarious. So like half the time I'm like getting down to the beat, but the other half of the time I'm enjoying myself, laughing along, smiling. It's a very unique blend of feelings for sure. So with that in mind, I'm going to give my super biased rating of something in the 9s. I believe I should start with a 9.2. And then I think we have an upper limit of 9.5. Because I still do need a bit more of a beautiful melodic vocal melody somewhere in there. Though we had moments of that, it's couched between craziness on both extremes. So I would probably bias this down towards, if it's a 9.35, then I would maybe taper it down to a 9.3. But we'll see how I feel at the very end. So now we have the last opening of this reaction set today from the anime Ameku M.D, Doctor Detective. This one follows the brilliant, eccentric Takao Ameku, the director of investigative pathology at Tenakai General Hospital. As she unravels mysterious cases and diseases, this all sounds like a House M.D. so far. Often, which is a great show, by the way, often involving unexplained deaths and murders, with the help of her assistant Yu Takanashi. I mean, if like the first half of this is all like House MD, and now you just stack on top of it even crazier cases and murder mystery, sounds like something that I would be into, to be honest. So let's check out the song. It's called Scope by Aimer. Let's jump in. Ooh. Oh man, I don't know how to say this without just sounding dumb, but this is immediately my favorite. I don't know why. I guess that would make me sound dumb. I don't know. You guys probably are going to come up with very different ratings than I would for these, but to me, this is the best out of the four that we heard, which I'm glad we just ramped up throughout this reaction set. I don't know. Again, I am a sucker for beautiful vocal melody, and sometimes that transcends heaviness. Now, this song wasn't heavy in the abrasive, loud sense. It was perfectly cohesive. Whatever it was, it did well. And when you have these like atomized structures of songs that are just the version of itself it needs to be, that wins a lot of points in my book. I love that we opened up with beautiful electric guitar as well. That's a little life hack for you guys all to understand about Sohum here, which is I love beautiful melodic, fast, sweeping electric guitar. Many of the reactions I do on this channel actually feature amazing guitarists from all sorts of bands and groups. And there's a reason why. Guitar is just so influential in my life. I play guitar myself, and you can hear in the mix the way it's blended in. It doesn't take a very in-your-face kind of role. It's right behind the ears. It is distant. It's like in the upper left corner of your room. It's constantly there, vying for your attention and affection, but it's a little bit more soft-spoken, which pairs beautifully well with the vocals here, because again, the vocals are a big part of what I like about music. Her vocals are super beautiful and the right amount of breathy, and you pair that all together with the drums, with the bass, and even later when we got the brass, it just feels like all of the right moments are being accented, and it creates this really lovely texture. I wrote there, it reminds me a little bit of Yorushika, though Yorushika is a bit more bass heavy and, let's say, low to mid tempo. But man, this is just a solid song all around. And because it's the highest rated in my mind, I do have to rate it higher than a 9.3, which I am mighty fine to do. I think in my mind this already gets like a 9.5, and I think it reaches an upper limit of 9.7, because I do wish a little bit of the guitars were more forward at different moments, as well as a bit more groove in the bass. But that said, this is still so solid, 9.6 out of 10. So those are the four openings today. Let's revisit our ratings and the reaction here. So for the Metalist opening, we gave a 8.45. For the Sakamoto Days, we gave an 8.6. Momentary Lily, a 9.3. And ending off with Ameku M.D. Dr. Detective, a 9.6. I think super solid ratings all around. If I were to take an average of those four numbers, oh god, can I even do this in my head? 9.6 plus 9.3 is 18.9, plus 8.6 is 25.5, plus 8.45, which is 33.95. Okay, divide that by 4. That is, oh my god, this is going to be hard. 33.95 divided by 4 is 8.4. Not, it's basically 8.5. Is it? I don't know. It's something. It's 8.3, 8.4 something. Very solid openings today. Thank you very much, Amy, for requesting these. If you would like to request a reaction yourself, you can do so by clicking the link in the description box down below. But in any case, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.